So Glenn Meisenheimer, right here, is the feature of the evening. And years back, he was here. You were a pretty regular person. And he would come here, and people would love what he did. Now, back then, and I guess still, he has a lot to do with poetic forms. So much so that he invents his own, and I don't know if you're going to do any of that this evening, yes or no? Okay.
I think there are a couple.
Okay, so there's a couple of things in there. So forms that he's invented, he likes that, and it's a very clever way of writing. I remember when I first began experimenting with form, I found it very strangely liberating. Now his writing, though, has a lot of variation in it. So, I mean, he could be humorous, he can be serious, he can be really angry at certain things. And so I don't know what he's going to be doing in that regard. But the finesse, I mean, I would call him a man of letters, not like, like in the schooling type of thing, but he's very interested in writing and the nuances of a given word and what it means and how he puts it next to whatever he puts it next to. And he works out these little tiny details because it's important and it changes the meaning of a sentence, which then affects the meaning of a stanza or the poem in itself. So there's detail and there's attention to detail, and it's always fascinating to me. Outside of that, he has a good web presence. Because I saw there's several places that have your stuff there, so you can find this guy. And you didn't bring books, did you?
No, I didn't.
I should have told him. And Thailand, right?
Yeah.
So he's come all the way. You're here for other purposes, not just. But all the way from Thailand, he said, "I'm going to be in San Francisco." So he sent me an email and said, "Yeah, let's do it." And we got this night going. It's going to be a lot of fun. I haven't heard him in a long time, so it'll be great to have him here. I know what's coming, but some of you don't. So that's going to be really fun for me to watch the reactions of people. And beyond that, I don't want to take up too much time because I'd rather have you hear him than me just going on and on and on. And what's the point of that? So give Glenn a real nice round of applause here. Glenn Meisenheimer, a fantastic, wonderful, good, knowledgeable, careful, caring human being and poet.
Well, I've got to make sure this is set for you. So you just got to get really close, just almost like that. So
You could do a video.
yeah, this is happening, but then what I'll do is I'll take and make something that says that.
I think it'd be fun, yeah.
Okay, all right. So there you go. Just get really. There we go.
Greetings from Koh Samui, where I live in a little island and take care of all the stray dogs there. So pretty much my life. Don't bother to applaud because it just makes things drag on. I write rhyming meter, so metered verse. Toenails. There was a time so long ago I trimmed my nails in Kokomo. Though San Francisco may be where I left my heart, my nails are there. I had a manicure one day in old Saigon, so far away. I left a part of me behind, so with Saigon I am entwined. In Tokyo, one winter's morn, I had my tousled hair all shorn and trimmed my toenails. Yes, it's so. So part of me's still there, Before I have to leave this earth, I'd like to leave myself in Perth, Sao Paulo, Bora Bora, Rome, before the Reaper calls me home. Dust. From dust we're formed, to dust we must return, and everything we own, the dust encrusts. Relentlessly it drifts with no concern, not heeding our displeasure or disgust, but settling in most inconvenient spots, the cornices, the corners where the dust rags cannot go, the cornices where dust webs are forgot. They say that in the stars, so long ago, that hydrogen was all the Big Bang formed. No dust back then to rant and rave against, but gravity caused stars to spin and swarm, and in their cores the harder stuff condensed till they went supernova, as stars must, and peppered the damn universe with dust.
Yeah.
The real me, The dentist pulled my tooth today. He took a part of me away to be replaced. Henceforth, forsooth, a metal artificial tooth. The day may come, my doctor quips, they'll have to change my knees and hips. My heart beneath a metal plate may whir someday, not palpitate. As time goes on and parts wear out, they'll change them all without a doubt, until at last none will remain except my aged and addled brain, which in good time they will upload into a quantum core abode. They tell me that I'll still be me, though I can't see which me I'll be. Monkeys. So who are we with monkey brains, with monkey hands and monkey eyes, who choose to seek a universe that we can somehow visualize? We probe the vast expanse of space, the quantum world of place and time. While pushing all our limits back, we never cease our upward climb. Explorers, that is what we are. Our unrelenting human trait is monkey curiosity, the hunger that we can't abate. I fought in the war, so here's a war poem. Vietnam War. There's much to learn about the war. The fragile tie we have to life, the murkiness of right and wrong, the senselessness of human strife. For we were victims all. The boys who had to go and fight, the women and the children who were stranded in that awful plight. And in the end, it came to what? Was ever truth or justice served? Was honor what we had to show? Was freedom saved or life preserved? For all the boys whose names at last were etched upon that granite wall, for all the innocents who died, for those on both sides, for them all, I dedicate my life to peace, while in my heart I cherish love. So when the war clouds churn and roil, I promise then to be the dove. Fairy fire. They say, beware desires that stalk your night and chitter on the edges of your dreams. The ones that cannot show themselves in light, the ones we only hear through muffled screams. For what is right and what our hearts desire may not in every instance correspond. Beware the icy heat of Wiccan fire and slimy things that lurk beneath the pond. Resist the lurid tug of pagan moons, whose cold forbidden light is never good. Don't heed the siren's soft enticing croons, nor follow fairy fire into the woods. Yet, if we don't explore our darkest star, how will we ever know just who we are? Too soon. Too soon, I say. Too soon our hour is done and we must make our exit from life's stage. Too soon the love and all that we have won are forfeit as the playwright turns his page. The scene goes on as if we mattered not, as if our toils and efforts had no worth. Too soon we find the things for which we fought abandoned like we've never walked this earth. I fail to see the point of our brief stay. Too fleeting is our frolic in the light, and then he up and throws it all away as we are dragged off stage into the night. That's why my life with one clear goal is crowned, to leave a better world than what I found. Broken men. So what becomes of broken men? The ones who can't be whole again, the ones who roam the streets instead and fight the wars inside their head, the ones who came when duty called, who fought for us, who gave their all, the men we shun as they limp by, the ones we don't look in the eye.
Oh.
Now, David, props go to David for his nonsense poetry, because I find it very hard to write, but I love nonsense poetry. We'll give this a shot.
Thanks for the left hand.
Imagine, said the porcupine, if buffalo could fly, if ocelots would only dine on elderberry pie, if silverbacks played paddywhack en route to Timbuktu, and cattle all sang Figaro instead of saying moo. I do not think, the eel replied, those things will ever be. Imagine if the oysters at the bottom of the sea served crumpets to the octopi one rainy day in May, while fishes all played hopscotch and the lobsters played croquet. The cricket said that things like that don't happen anymore. Imagine if the human race could put an end to war and feed their young and tell the truth so they would be believed. They shook their heads and all agreed that couldn't be achieved. Death, you know, has not good sense. He does not come in recompense for evil, the results thereof. Instead, he seeks to punish love. R.I.P. Freeman. Gone the nights at sacred grounds, gone the spark that death confounds, gone the even eyes and ready grin. In our cavalcade of days in coffee shops and dim cafes, a kinder, gentler soul has never been. Another war poem, choosing. Come gather together. I'll tell you the tale that was told to our mothers and fathers and that was told to our mothers and fathers as well, of the sons and the daughters who smolder in hell because they resisted conforming. The best ones lay dead in the trenches of war while the bankers have tea in the morning. Come, listen, my children. I'll tell you those lies, the same ones they're eager to proselytize. While you're early to bed and you're early to rise, the system continues its rending. And we are the ones who are ground in the mill while the slaughter goes on without ending. Tomorrow the war will be finally through. In the meantime, remember that Jesus loves you and would want you to do what the others all do. The worst is the sin of refusing. The thing that they tell us is freedom is just a whole life that was never our choosing. Tears. I'm sorry for all these downers. I didn't do this intentionally.
We're good.
Wonderful.
Tears. There will be tears to shed before we're through. Some dirges to the dead we'll listen to, but also we will laugh another day, attend a wedding, watch the children play. It's not a given thing that we should know which way the winds of life are bound to blow, the consequences of our love and hate, or whether we are constrained by choice or fate. But still we know that one thing will ensue. There will be tears to shed before we're through. Draft resistor. There's always this relationship between the Vietnam vet and the draft resistors. Draft resistor. They call you coward. Isn't that a bitch? Because you loved your wife and children more than all the moneyed interests of the rich, you wouldn't go and fight their dirty war. One thing is sure, through all war's bloody years, the ones who fight, the ones who bear the pain, the ones who die, are not the profiteers, are not the same as those who reap the gain. So cowardice is not what marks your heart. With grandkids bouncing there upon your knee, it is one's love that sets a man apart. Release your ghosts and live forever free. The blood of generations yet to come derives from your refusal to succumb. Broken things. She filled her life with broken things, a blender on the blink, a teapot with a little chip, a man who liked to drink, a laptop that was prone to crash, a car that wouldn't start, a cat who had a mangled ear, her worn and tattered heart. Probability. So many possibilities between the egg and sperm, yet we, in our uniqueness, are the ones who came to term. The atoms forming you and me are locked in an array of great improbability. The needle in the hay, but still we live, we laugh, we love, we think, and thus we are. Improbable at very best. Impossible, bizarre, statistically unlikely, so by logic not to be. Yet we are crowned the kings and queens of probability. How's my time?
You have about like 4 or 5 minutes.
Okay, I'm going to skip one. Oh, here's a fun one. I've been doing too much downer stuff.
Thank you.
Galaxy Destroyer.
Does that have anything to do with the Space Force?
Yes. No, it's a cocktail. Off the shoulder of Orion, past the bars of Betelgeuse, if you travel several 100 trillion miles, there's a planet where they party, where morality is loose, and their cocktails are designed to bring on smiles. You can start off with a little nip of Rigel's finest brew. You will find it works quite well for stripping paint. Then that rocket juice from Spica, just a shot or maybe two, till your knees begin to quake and you feel faint. When it's time to switch to harder stuff, the special ought to do, some have said it's made from eyes of Altair toads, but those foggy methane bubbles tend to hide that from your view as you ponder universal antidotes. A Ferengi reconstructor, a martini made of spice from the jungle worlds surrounding Barnard's star, and a galaxy destroyer. You'll be feeling very nice, though you won't by then remember who you are. Robot dreams. The robots dream of ticking clocks, of pivots, gears, and springs, of things that spin and things that rock and whirring, buzzing things. They dream of how the cogs all fit as if it's meant to be, and of the force that powers it, some type of destiny. They think they see their purpose then, and come to learn of love. They fear the advent of the end, which marks the death thereof. They contemplate the question, why? Then, robots dreams that they can fly.
Whoa!
A poem. God's Lament. You tell the humans they weren't meant to fly, and then they go and trample on your moon. A wrinkled infant that can only cry will grow someday to write the Clair de Lune. And when you tell them they don't understand, they set about to build a better brain. What kind of bold impertinence is that? What vestiges of deity remain?
Yeah.